In today's Leeds news, Skubala talks up Crew, Jesse Marsch on Bielsa, and Struijk unlikely to leave Leeds. Hiya folks, Jay here on the 17th of November with your Leeds United news. Apologies yesterday about not getting a video out. I'm not well. I'm really not. I'm going to try and get through this as quick as I can before I start coughing again. And we are going to record the podcast over the weekend. I just need a couple of days so I can actually start speaking properly. But the lads are lined up and ready to go for hopefully a Saturday. We'll get the podcast out to everybody, so apologies. We'll crack on, we'll get into this, and we'll start off with news that just broke this afternoon. It's not 100% Leeds related, but just to cover it off out of the way. The investigation into Everton's conduct around the financial fair play concluded today, and a press release that's been given by the Premier League basically stated that Everton have been docked 10 points for their breach of financial fair play, which will drop them down to 19th place in the league. Not the 12 points that the Premier League were looking for, but 10-point deduction, and that drops them all the way down into 19th in the table. You would imagine what's down there, they'd still have enough to get out of trouble pretty quickly, and I'd be surprised if Everton aren't outside the bottom three within a few weeks. It's not a huge drop. But yeah, that's been done. Not 12 points, got to 10. And now it's going to be interesting to see whether the clubs that threaten to sue Everton, including Leeds, should they be found guilty, actually go through and follow up on that threat now and actually go and sue them. There is still the complications around 7-7 Partners takeover of Everton, which isn't clean and was possibly going to be dependent on the result of this independent inquiry. Everton are expected to appeal this decision, which could kick it down the road a little bit longer. But we'll have to wait and see. Let's get into the Leeds news. We'll start off with talking around Michael Skubala, who left Leeds this week, has been talking up Charlie Crew. Skubala, earlier in the week, the former Leeds United Under-21 manager, was speaking with the Yorkshire Evening Post about lots of things, but Charlie Crew specifically. Skubala believes the Crew has the potential to be a top player for Leeds in the next few years, and he feels that he's got a little bit of growing to do physically before he's fully ready for the first team, but that he thinks that could happen in the next year or two. Skubala went on to say that Crew has serious potential as a deep-lying midfielder, as a holding midfielder, or as a number 6 for Leeds. He says that his passing range is really good and his aggression is really good. Crew has captained Wales at numerous age levels and is on the verge of an Under-21 call-up very recently, and there's talk in Wales that a first-team call-up for Charlie Crew isn't far away as well. He has been playing above his age brackets for a while now and is doing so with Leeds as well. Skubala went on to finish up by saying that the next year or two will see hopefully him move into the first-team situations, but that he said there is still building work to do there physically. He said when you look at him from an attitude and discipline and professionalism are all first class, but that he still needs to grow physically in order to compete with the first team, but that he reckons that the player has got that capability and will do that within the next year to two. And as I said, he has captained plenty of teams. He's got experience. He's growing rapidly as a leader amongst the younger players in the group as well. So that's great to see another young, strong centre midfielder pushing through with leadership capabilities as well. So he's been great, Charlie Crew. He really has been pulling up trees all season, and long may that continue. And he's under contract at Leeds, so we can relax a little bit about that one for a bit. Let's move on and talk about something I didn't think I'd talk about since I launched this channel, but Jesse Marsch and Marcelo Bielsa. So Jesse Marsch has spoken for the first time about Marcelo Bielsa since his firing as Leeds United manager last year. Marsch was speaking to Radio 5 Live this week about the situation, and basically what he said about Bielsa is that there were serious differences between the two of them, but that he underestimated the job of following Marcelo Bielsa, and he said the enormity that is following Marcelo Bielsa. Bielsa is, as we know, now managing Uruguay and has now clocked up wins against Brazil and Argentina yesterday and is doing a fantastic job with them there. Speaking of Radio 5 Live, Marsch said that he underestimated the job of following Bielsa at Leeds and described them as two managers who have plenty of differences as coaches and also as people. Marsch said that anyone following Bielsa in any situation is not easy, and that he did underestimate the situation when he took over at Leeds. Marsch commented that he has watched what Bielsa does and has learned what Bielsa does, and he says that his unique ways and his authentic style, describing some of his stuff as so off the wall in so many things that he tries to do, that if you don't pay attention to what he's doing, you are really not doing your job. I wonder what stage that's happened. I'm assuming Marsch has started watching Bielsa stuff since he's left Leeds, which would be good development for him, but I think it was very obvious when he came in there. The styles were very, very different, and how the fans were reacting to the styles. But I think Jesse backed himself, which most coaches will. You don't slate a coach for that. They do back themselves. They have to. But I think he's now understanding that underestimating what the job was is probably what cost him ultimately in the end. And then moving on finally for today's final story around Pascal Struijk. There have been tons of nonsense rumours floating around this week. Some I've covered, some I haven't. We are in the territory now of Willy Gnonto's leaving. No, he's not. Yes, he is. No, he's not. This week it was he's definitely not going. And then again, according to Team Talk today, he is possibly. We're not covering it because it's Team Talk. It's a long read in Team Talk, and I've read it, and it's nonsense. So there's no point in even talking about it. It's contradictory continuously through it. But we're in that season. Ryan Kent has been mentioned today as well. I'm not covering that because why? We're not covering it. We don't need him. We don't need a winger, and we're not signing Ryan Kent. But also Pascal Struijk, and that's the one we are going to talk about. There was rumours earlier this week that Pascal Struijk could leave Leeds United, and that was being linked heavily to a move in Belgium. Report in Belgium this week had linked Struijk with a move to Club Brugge, who were very interested in the player in the summer, but Leeds had made a decision that he wasn't going anywhere in the summer. Daniel Farke wanted him as part of his plans. Also, Struijk had said himself during the summer that he had no intentions of leaving Leeds United and wanted to stay and help fix what had happened last season. Now, according to the Yorkshire Evening Post, once the window opens in January, Leeds will not entertain any options or proposals or prospects of a sale of Pascal Struijk. The answer will be a simple no from Leeds. I've already said he did say during pre-season that he wasn't going to go anywhere. It would seem strange now that he's captain inside for him to want to leave, and it would be very strange for Leeds to want to let a young captain leave the club. Struijk has become a standout player for Daniel Farke so far this season in all the games, to the point where 18 months ago, 2 years ago, if we thought Pascal Struijk was going to be missing a game for Leeds, most people wouldn't have really worried too much about it. But when we heard he was missing the game against Plymouth, I think it kind of changed a lot of people's opinions. He has grown. That's not to say that the performances over the last couple of years that Struijk put in are all okay now because he's playing well now. The criticism and praise has to be labelled at the time it was given. So, you can't rewrite history here. He struggled for 2 years at Leeds. He's found his form again this year. He's got his confidence back. He's playing with a little bit of swagger. He's got the armband on his arm. His chest is puffed out, and he looks every bit a Leeds United captain, and he's been fantastic. And long may that continue. And it would be very odd for Leeds to agree to this. And according to the article, they say Leeds have no interest at all in letting Pascal Struijk go. I would be shocked if Leeds let anybody go that they don't want to go in January. The Willy Gnonto stuff will keep popping up until the end of January. That's just the way it's going to be. And there's talk about Juventus wanting a loan move for the player, which is not going to happen because Leeds turned down 25 million. The link from Team Talk is 15 million from Juve as a loan, and it's not going to happen. So yeah, I'd be shocked if Leeds let anybody leave who Leeds themselves don't see as somebody who should leave the club before they bring anybody else in. So yeah, Leeds are in a good place financial fair play wise, apparently, according to reports as well. So Leeds could spend money in January if they wanted. They're miles off breaking it. So we have to wait and see what happens there. They've done a great job of getting the wage budget under control. And that's really helped the club out an awful lot. So the lads have gone out on loan have really helped us to avoid financial fair play issues and maybe open the door for potential new incomings in January as well. Let me know in the comments what positions you'd like to see Leeds strengthen. And for me personally, I'd like another centre back, and I'd like a number 10, maybe a left back, and I think they'd be pretty much there. Let me know what you think and who you like to come in as well. Would be interesting as well. That's going to be it for me today, folks. I will be back tomorrow with the podcast. It will be out tomorrow. Keep an eye on the feed as well. Put it on Twitter as well. And anyone asking about Threads, I'm not on Threads just yet because Threads hasn't been launched in Ireland. So until it is launched in Ireland, I can't use it. So there will be a Threads account once that happens. So any other information you want to get a hold of, you can follow me on Twitter and you can get the information there as well. So I'll see you tomorrow for more Leeds news. Have a great day. Bye.